Hey, class, we are back and we are continuing with the causes of the American Revolution. But today we're doing a biography on Samuel Adams. Samuel Adams was basically the one who founded the Sons of Liberty, and he had a big part in several different things in the Sons of Liberty that was a catalyst for the causes of the or for the American Revolution. It was one of the causes, or several of the causes, including the Boston Tea Party. He was there. All right, he might have been at the Boston Massacre. Uh, there were several different things that he did, but he was a big catalyst and a big advocate for the United States for becoming the United States. So, and that's who we're talking about today. We're talking about his life, Samuel Adams. So he grew up in the city of Boston and in the colony of Massachusetts. His father was Deacon Adams, a political leader, and Samuel learned a lot about politics and the rights of colonies and religion from his parents.
Where did Samuel Adams grow up? Samuel Adams grew up in the city of Boston in the colony of Massachusetts. His father, Samuel Deacon Adams, was a political leader, a staunch Puritan, and a wealthy merchant. Samuel learned a lot about politics, the rights of the colonies, and religion from his parents.
So he learned to read and write as a young child from his mother Mary. He attended Boston Latin School, and at age 14, just age 14, he entered Harvard University, where he studied politics and history. And there he graduated with a master's degree in 1743 from Harvard University.
Education and early career. Samuel learned to read and write as a young child from his mother Mary. He then attended the Boston Latin School. He was an intelligent student and loved to learn. At the age of 14, Samuel entered Harvard University, where he studied politics and history. He graduated with a master's degree in 1743.
So there he began his career in business. His father loaned him some money because they were wealthy, and he lent half of it to a friend, and he soon was out of money. So he took a job working for his father, but he had little interest in business or making money. So he wasn't really. He was kind of born for the Sons of Liberty, all right, because he didn't do a whole lot with his life up until that point.
Education and early career continued. Adams began his career in business. His father loaned him some money to start his own business, but Samuel lent half of it to a friend. He soon was out of money. He took a job working for his father, but had little interest in business or making money.
So when the British government passed the Stamp Act of 1765, Adams got angry, all right? And he got angry that the king would tax the colonies without offering representation in the government, which was the colonist motto, no taxation without representation. And he began to organize these protests against the king and the taxes, and he soon formed the group of patriots that were called the Sons of Liberty.
The Sons of Liberty. When the British government passed the Stamp Act of 1765, Adams became angry that the king would tax the colonies without offering them representation in the government. He began to organize protests against the king and the taxes. He formed a group of patriots called the Sons of Liberty.
All right. So the Sons of Liberty, when we talked about them just with our last lesson, they became an influential group in organizing patriots against the British, and they protested the Stamp Act by hanging a dummy of British tax agents, throwing rocks through the windows of the tax collector's house. They intimidated these tax collectors, made them quit their jobs, and they were also involved in the Boston Tea Party, and it spread throughout the colonies. Okay, and in large part to Samuel Adams and his actions. The group in New York City was especially strong, and they used violent protests to scare loyalists during the Revolutionary War. So they were very influential and had a big part. The Sons of Liberty did as a catalyst for the American Revolutionary War.
Sons of Liberty continued. The Sons of Liberty became an influential group in organizing the patriots against the British. Early on, they protested the Stamp Act by hanging a dummy of a British tax agent and throwing rocks through the windows of the tax collector's house. They were also involved in the Boston Tea Party. The Sons of Liberty movement spread throughout the colonies. The group in New York City was especially strong and used violent protests to scare loyalists during the Revolutionary War.
All right, so his political career. Adams was elected to the Massachusetts Assembly in 1765, and he helped organize the Stamp Act Congress, which we talked about, which we will talk. We talked about with the Stamp Act, and after they planned a unified response to the Stamp Act with the Stamp Act of Congress. And after the Boston Massacre occurred in 1770, Adams worked to get the British Army removed from the city. He wanted them out. He wanted them out of the city because their presence. He didn't want their presence there. They weren't needed. He didn't feel like. He also organized a way for the patriots throughout the colonies to communicate with each other. So he was a big part of the Sons of Liberty and a big advocate for the United States becoming the United States.
Political career. Adams was elected to the Massachusetts Assembly in 1765. He helped to organize the Stamp Act Congress held in New York, where the colonies planned a unified response to the Stamp Act. After the Boston Massacre occurred in 1770, Adams worked to get the British Army removed from the city. He also organized a way for patriots throughout the colonies to communicate with each other.
All right. And even though this Stamp Act, and I've sold this several times now, Stamp Act was repealed in 1766. The British government kept imposing taxes. All right, it was just the Stamp Act was just the start of it. And one of the taxes was on a tea imported into the colonies. And on December 17th, 1773, Adams gave a speech to a number of patriots and members of the Sons of Liberty, and they demanded that the British ships carrying this tea in the Boston Harbor leave, but the British refused. So later that night, what did they do? They went to the Boston Harbor, to these ships, and they boarded the ships, and they dumped all this tea into the harbor, like 342 chests, 90,000 pounds, about $1 million worth of tea today. And it hurt Britain's pockets, all right, because they had stock in the East India Company, which is what the tea was, and it hurt their pockets, and they were very, very upset about this.
Boston Tea Party. Even though the Stamp Act was repealed in 1766, the British government continued to impose taxes on the American colonies. One tax was on tea imported into the colonies. On December 17, 1773, Adams gave a speech to a number of patriots and members of the Sons of Liberty. The people had demanded that the British ships carrying tea in Boston Harbor leave, but the British refused. Later that night, a number of Bostonians boarded the ships and dumped their tea into the harbor.
So Adams was selected during the Revolutionary War. He was selected to represent the Massachusetts colony at the First Continental Congress that was in 1774. And there they sent a letter to King George III in protest of the taxes. Now, Adams didn't think they were doing too much. Okay, he said, this ain't going to work. If you've ever seen which we're going to watch in class, the Sons of Liberty little mini series that they had a few years ago on the History Channel. So we're going to watch that. You'll see he didn't think too much of them just sending a letter. He wanted more. So they also planned to meet again, and patriots throughout the colonies began to gather weapons in Massachusetts. And Adams helped to organize the Minutemen. All right, the Massachusetts Minutemen, a group of militia that was ready to fight at a moment's notice. That's why they were called the Minutemen.
Revolutionary War. Adams was selected to represent the Massachusetts colony at the First Continental Congress in 1774. They gathered to send a letter to the King George III to protest of the taxes. They also planned to meet again. Patriots throughout the colonies began to gather weapons. In Massachusetts, Adams helped to organize the Minutemen, a group of militiamen that was ready to fight at a moment's notice.
All right. Lexington and Concord in April 1775, the British Army, they set out to march to Concord. They wanted to destroy the Patriot weapons that they had been stockpiling, and they also were going to arrest Samuel Adams and John Hancock. All right. But John Hancock and Adams were warned by Paul Revere during his daring ride, all right, which we'll go over too, and they managed to escape, but the Revolutionary War had begun with this.
Lexington and Concord. In April of 1775, the British Army set out to march to Concord, Massachusetts, in order to destroy Patriot weapons that were stored there. They also were going to arrest the Patriot leaders Samuel Adams and John Hancock. Adams and Hancock were warned by Paul Revere after his daring ride. They managed to escape capture, but the Revolutionary War had begun.
All right. So then they did the Declaration of Independence, and Adams attended the Second Continental Congress in 1776, where they signed the Declaration of Independence. And he also helped to write the Articles of Confederation. If you look here, you can see John Hancock's big name there on there. Samuel Adams is also on this list as well. He that might be him right there, I don't know. But his name's also on that list as well because he signed the Declaration of Independence with all these patriots.
Declaration of Independence. Adams attended the Second Continental Congress in 1776, where he signed the Declaration of Independence. He also helped to write the Articles of Confederation.
All right, let's go with our comprehension questions. Where did Samuel Adams attend school at age 14? A, Harvard, B, UNC, or C, Duke? It was A, Harvard. He attended at Harvard University and graduated from Harvard University.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Number 2, what group of protesters did Adams form? A, the Civil Rights, B, the Sons of Liberty, or C, no one? He's often called the founding father of the Sons of Liberty, and he formed the Sons of Liberty.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
They played a big part in advocating for the American Revolution to begin. Number 3, the Sons of Liberty were first formed to protest what act? A, the Stamp Act, B, the Townshend Act, or C, Mr. Sean? That was A, the Stamp Act is what they were first formed for because to protest the Stamp Act. Whoops.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
The Stamp Act was the very first tax placed upon the colonies by the British, and they formed to protest that, and they would harass the tax collectors. They threw stones through their windows, just made them scared. A lot of them would quit their jobs. All right, number 4, what Congress did Adams help organize? What Congress? A, the U.S. Congress, B, the Stamp Act Congress, or C, the Townshend Congress? It is B, the Stamp Act Congress. In 1766, he organized that so they could prepare a unified protest of the Stamp Act.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Number 5, what did Adams sign in 1776? A, the Constitution, B, nothing, or C, the Declaration of Independence? It was the Declaration of Independence. It declared the United States independence from Britain.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
And that is all for today. Be sure you go on Schoology, go through the questions, and turn it in so you get credit for it. And I will see you next time. I think we are talking about the Townshend Acts next. So I will see you all next time. You all have a good day.